welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today. It's going to be a great day, minus the fact that I have a stain on my sweater. I mean, look at this. Look, I don't even know, what even is this? What is that? I don't even know what that is. Where did that even come from? How long has it been there? Are people staring at it? Who knows? I don't even know what this is. No, we're not gonna do that. Okay, all jokes aside, I've actually had that sweater for a very long time, so who knows what that is and who knows how long that's been there. But I actually found it when I was moving it out of storage because it is finally that time in Los Angeles where we can wear a little bit warmer clothes. You see I've got a little bit of a turtleneck going on, and some sweatshirts. Definitely happy for sweatshirts. But I was going through some old clothes and I found out that they all have some stains on them. And I'm also like, you know, it's a good time for me to maybe move those clothes along. Probably happened since like 8th grade. But that is okay. So I was thinking about donating, and then I thought, people probably don't want old, dirty clothes with stains on them. So I was thinking, what would be a really good craft to do with that? And I found these adorable, adorable sweater pumpkins. Look how cute this is. They are totally easy to do. It doesn't even take that many products to make this, and it is a great use on sweaters instead of just throwing them away. So let's get to it. Okay, so first and foremost, we've got ourselves an old sweater. Anything that has like a stain on it, anything that's not really good for you to donate. If you do have any sweaters that you've kind of outgrown or anything, please first and foremost do donate those. But if they've got something on them, then we're going to make some crafts with them instead. So another tip with this is make sure that the sweater that you're going to do this with has a very tight knit. As you can see with this, you cannot see any holes, nothing too bad. So everything that we put in the sweater is going to be able to stay in here. Unlike the sweater that I used as well, this was another old one that I had, but you can see the knit here. You can see all those holes. This still works. I mean, as you can see, I made that with this little pumpkin, but as you can see in the bottom, not that cute. So definitely try and stick with a sweater that has a tighter knit. Then we've got some fiberfill. This is just one that I got from Michael's, wasn't too expensive. And this one is 8 ounces. And then I have these black beans. These black beans, nothing special, just kind of the little size. We just need some dry beans. I just really like the size for this one, and that is what I used. Then you got your twine. This is also one that I got from Michael's. I believe it was like $4, so nothing too expensive, and I've used this one for a lot of other projects, and I still have so much twine left. So it really, oh yeah, that's 120 feet. That is 120 feet of twine. So this is a really good twine that you can also get at Michael's. Then you have some rubber bands, nothing too fancy. I have some embroidery thread. This is if you do want to use the second option of pumpkin that we're going to go through. But I believe from Michael's, this is honestly like 99 cents. So nothing too bad. And we've got our hot glue gun and some handy dandy scissors. So first and foremost, we're gonna take our sweater, and you're gonna start at the sleeve, and then we are just going to cut the sleeve right off. You're gonna cut it right where the sleeve has been connected to the rest of the sweater. And I know that we start with sleeves, but we also have this side and a lot of the sweater to use, which I think you can still use for a little bit more pumpkins if that's where you want to go. But first and foremost, we're just going to start with one sleeve. And then you're going to take your sleeve and you are going to cut it in half. As you can see, we've got the part that is right there curved for where we cut it, and we've got the bottom half. So you are going to use the bottom half. And then you're going to take your little bottom half and you're going to turn it inside out. We turn it inside out because we want for the pumpkin to get the pretty side. So we're gonna turn it inside out, and then you're going to add a rubber band. Now make sure that this rubber band is really tight because it's going to be the base of the pumpkin, so we don't want for any of the things that we're gonna put in the sleeve to fall out. So I'm gonna put that around there about 4 times. And then we go and we turn it right side out again. Looks like a little sock. And then we have the beans. So I didn't use that many beans. You just have the beans so that you can give the pumpkin a nice sturdy bottom so that whenever you use it as a decoration, it doesn't fall over. And then pour those beans in. Oop. There we go. It's a good amount. Got some escapees. You can see not that much, just enough to give it a nice solid bottom. So now that we've got those beans in there, it is now time for the fiberfill. So for this one, I used only maybe about 2 handfuls. It honestly just depends on how big you want your pumpkin to be. If you don't want it to be that big and chunky, then you can just use a couple, use a little bit, but I'm gonna use about 2 of these. So as you can see, I'm kind of doing this motion with the fill. I really want for it to break up so that it is able to give this pumpkin a little bit of a better shape. So I'm gonna fill that in with just a little bit more. Put that in there. Same thing, breaking up that fill. Okay, so for this one, I used about 3 handfuls of that fiberfill, and it gave me the size and the shape that I'm looking for this pumpkin. Great, so after we've got what we're looking for, you're gonna take another rubber band, and you are going to tie the top. Make sure that's tight. So again, a couple of times round. There we go. And we tie it so that we're able to give our pumpkin a nice little stem. Right now it looks more like a beet, but we're gonna get there. So this is when you bring in your twine, and with the twine you are going to take, I don't know exactly, but a very, very long string. Just to give you an idea, the string is like super, super long. Now we want it to be that long because we are going to tie it to the pumpkin. So make sure that you do split that string in 2, like so. And you're gonna tie it at the bottom of the pumpkin. Make sure that's a nice little knot. Tight, super tight. Oh, muscles. Perfect. And then with the stem that we have, as you can see, it kind of goes out. So it starts off super small, at the base of the stem, and then it goes out into more of like a triangle. We kind of want for that to be the opposite. So you're gonna take your scissors and we're gonna cut the base into more of an angle. So cut that off. Cut the other side as well. And there we go. So now we've got more of like a leaf looking top, which is perfect. And so I use one side of the twine to kind of get the base of that pumpkin stem. As you can still see that rubber band. And we want to hide that guy. So you're gonna take one side, make sure that you're really getting the base of the stem so that we are able to cover all of that rubber band. And every time that you circle that and bring it around, you are going to make it as tight as you can. You might also notice while you're doing this and you're making it really tight, that is getting thinner and thinner. That is exactly what we want to happen so that we can give the stem some shape. Okay, and so when you've gotten to the part where it's the end of this twine, you are now going to take the other side. And if there's any part of the pumpkin stem that you can still see the rubber band, you are just going to cover that up with this part of the string. You can see that right there, kinda. There's still some rubber band. We're just gonna take this and cover that little piece up. See? Ta-da! Like it's not even there. And we're gonna just have this twine not be nearly as tight as the first side of that string, but enough where we're just gonna have it then loop over the first half of the twine. So now we can just continue to the top. And so for this, it just depends on how big you want your stem to be. You can make them kind of short and stubby, but I like for mine to be a little bit longer. And of course, make sure while you're doing this, you are checking for any of the sweater that is coming through the twine. We don't want for that to be seen. So I'm getting to the end of my twine. One thing that I did do when I was doing my first pumpkin, I cut the twine a little bit too short, and so all you would do is you would just cut off a little bit more twine, and you're going to hot glue that just to the base of the stem, and you're just going to start over, not all the way over, but just a little bit lower so that you're able to incorporate that with the twine that's already on. So that is the length that I like. So we are just going to cut off the remainder of the sweater that we have. It's cute like that. And we're just gonna try and take the twine and get that as close to the top as we can. And then we are going to hot glue. And you're not using a lot of glue. You're honestly just kind of smoothing it so that we are able to get the twine all the way on there. Look at that. Look how cute that is. So one thing that I did do a little bit different with this guy, you can see just the top of the sweater. You can always do that, but if you want to go the extra mile, what I did with this guy is I just added a little bit more twine to the top so that it completely covers it and you don't see the sweater. Which I'll show you how to do real quick. Okay, for this I am going to take just a little bit of twine. This is honestly probably a little bit too much, but I'm going to hot glue it to the twine that is already there. Make sure you don't burn your fingers. I've done that way too many times. And then you are just now going to go and put just a little bit on the top. You're really pushing that twine on top of the other one so that it kind of gives it a loop. You don't want that loop to be too loose or it's all gonna fall apart. Great, so once you have it like that, cut the excess. And this is kind of when you just go a little bit to town with the hot glue. So I'm gonna hot glue the top of that. Give it a nice little glob. And just kind of move that all around the top. And maybe then wait for the hot glue to get a little bit less scalding. And that's when you can just use your fingers. Great, let that dry for a quick second. Then I'm just gonna use my fingers to smush that a little bit. And then make sure that is flat. So you're gonna use your thumb, push that down. Yeah. There you go. Okay, so here we go. Easy peasy. And now we've got a very cute little squishable pumpkin with a beautiful stem on the top. Another good thing with the twine is you can move that stem around. So I like to angle them just a little bit to the side, give them a little bit of a bend. So it looks like that. The difference between these two is that I just use a little bit of embroidery string for this one so that I can give it a little bit more shape. For this one, as you can see, I used the embroidery string. I liked it to be a little bit darker than the color of the sweater just because I think it looked a little bit more rustic and it matched the color of the twine. But if you were going to use it for an orange pumpkin, I would suggest just using orange embroidery string or whatever color matches that pumpkin. So for this one, all that I did was I took the string and I cut that into two. I measured what the bottom of that pumpkin would be, and so I could just bring the string to the top. And so I knotted it here, then took another string and knotted it on this side as well. And I made sure that I tied the strings as tight as I could. That's what gives that this shape. And also it goes under the stem so you don't see that knot. And just like that, we've got these two adorable pumpkins. I'm honestly a fan of both of them. It just matters on what kind of style you're looking for, but I do want to say thank you to DIY Beautify. That is where I found this idea. She's also got a lot of fantastic ideas over there, so make sure that you do check that out. And if you guys also do this, please make sure that you do tag me in it. I would love to see what you make. And other than that, please make sure that you like and subscribe and you hit that bell so that you're able to be notified when I post my next video. Is it gonna be crafts? Is it gonna be baking? Who knows? But I'd love to see y'all there. So thanks for watching.